Oh, I think we're live.
Good.
Oh, see, look, I found a little
Nice.
Sir Woman for you. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday. I'm very excited for tonight. Tonight, I got a very special guest, Mike Ruther from the OurVinyl YouTube channel. I believe the first video that we ever did of yours was a Tyler Childers video, and of course that thing exploded. And we've done a bunch, and your channel has been one that has just been an absolute beacon for finding new music and stuff that and artists that I didn't know of before. And for everybody out there watching, if you're unfamiliar with OurVinyl, Mike is the founder of it. And so what I want you to do is grab a beer, whatever beverage of choice you might have. He's going to join us, and he's going to show some of his picks, talk about what they do, how they find the artists, how it works, and show you some stuff you probably haven't heard before. One of the things I love about this channel is that the audio and video production is top notch. For example, I picked this, Sir Woman Making Love, to get us going. So again, happy Tuesday, grab a beverage, and get ready for Mike from OurVinyl.
He don't need you around. Makes you think that you don't have enough. Lets you get a bit of someone's love. Cause when you're all alone, it's him you're thinking of. Let me tell you that you have enough. You don't need a bit of someone's love. Cause when you're all alone, it's you I'm thinking of. She's making love.
I grab one thing.
Oh shit.
Her mind, and she knows
You're good.
that
You're
she'll take the words right out of your mouth. She's not a
Oh, Vandy, how's it going out there? Colton Sailing, Club All, Detroit Dabber. Got some new names in here. Cool Sweet Joy, Matt Ryan, Sean Miller, good to see you. Mix Hammers, Dizzy Dad, Reed Taylor, welcome. Thanks for becoming a member. Bluebird, congratulations. Mr. Tonic Amps. Fishing Idaho on a Harley. Matt Story, Greg Melita, Modern Ronin, Frank W., David Belair, Anthony LaFranza. Again, if you're just tuning in, Mike from OurVinyl, he's the founder of OurVinyl, is joining us. We're listening to a little Sir Woman Making Love. Mark, we missed you too, man. What you got there, Mike?
I got the too.
What are you plugging in there?
Just a little power action.
All right.
I'm good.
So, Mike, again, thank you so much for doing this. I'm such a fan of what you do, and you guys do such a good job showcasing artists that I feel like don't get enough exposure, and you do it in a way that is just gorgeous. It looks good and sounds good. One of the things that you guys do really, really well that I really like is the way that you do video with the artist. I feel like you get so many close-up shots where maybe it's like a single camera that wanders around the room but then gets right in, not just on people's faces, but on the fretboard for people playing instruments. I really feel like you guys film in so many different rooms with so many different kinds of bands, but you really do a great job capturing the essence of what it's like to be in that room, And so one, welcome to the channel, and
Thank you.
and two, I would love for you to kind of, for those that are unfamiliar, explain to people what your channel is all about and kind of how it got going and how you go about doing what you do, man.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great people that help us all do it, but and we obviously couldn't do it without everyone that's all been making it possible. We've been doing it for about a decade now.
Yeah, man.
So it kind of started. I don't know if you want the. I'm trying to think out. You want the cliff notes? I can try to give you the short version, or I can give you the
Yeah,
full
yeah. Give me
story.
the give me
I'll
give
try
me
to.
the give me the the cliff notes.
Yeah, we trying to think. Company kind of started. Well, we started like as a blog essentially. Originally like probably 10 years ago. Back if people remember the blog days when like Hype Machine was a big deal, probably, and
Yeah.
blogs were like the thing, you know. But then, not that long after we got started, I mean, we got the site up to like 30,000 monthly readers, and but everyone kind of remembers, Pro Tools started to happen, and then the world kind of allowed people to record onto their computers, and that shift started happening. So you could actually, it was more affordable for people to record, and people could do things.
Hey, Mike, do you
And
have the ability to turn
oh
your mic up real quick?
yeah. 1 second,
Thanks.
check.
Thanks, Tonic. Yeah, if you guys hear or see anything that we need to fix, please let us know.
How's this? Is this a little bit better?
Yeah, it sounds a little better to me.
How does that feel? Better? I wish I get a thumbs up or.
Yeah, I think it'll
But
be all right.
cool. Yeah, so we the whole world kind of shifted to where we could people could record right on their DSLRs. I'm sorry, I'm getting like an echo now. Trying to see if I can. I may turn it down a little bit more. I'll do.
Yeah, if you go on the StreamYard settings and go to audio, you should be able to adjust your mic volume. Just turn it all the way up.
Okay, settings, audio. There's an echo cancellation. I'm just getting like whenever I say something, I'm getting like a
You can cancel that.
hit that. How do I do that?
Hit the button.
Check. Hello. Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
All right, we good on audio? I think.
I think
Getting
so. I think so.
All right. Yeah. So I'll just try to roll with it. Let me see if I can. But yeah, we started the company, and then everything kind of shifted to where people started recording on Pro Tools, and that all shifted. And then not shortly after that, so we got more affordable to record audio, and you could do it in unique ways, and people could record at home. Obviously, everyone knows that whole story. But then not shortly after that, people could record on DSLR cameras, and that was another big thing that kind of happened shortly after that. I'm sure people might know other session sites out there. Like LaBlogitech was probably one of the first pioneers of this whole world where you could take like a photography camera and then put on like, just like these sort of like smaller cameras,
Yeah.
and you put your little lens on. Like everyone's seen these now. But that was a pretty big game changer because then instead of having these massive cameras, you could shoot, on a photography camera, shoot like shell depth of field and do really interesting things with cameras. And then LaBlogitech, I would say, probably was one of the first that started it. And then shortly after, started seeing other people doing that online. And I just was super inspired by that. And I just thought it was incredible. And then like there was Mahogany Sessions, who's a big one over in Europe, and Jam in the Van, and
Yeah.
everyone knows. Like I try to give KXP, all of them. So when we saw that happening, I was trying to make the shift from, we had the blog going, but I wanted to kind of just keep doing that. And so we ended up trying to figure out how do we turn the whole company into a sort of how do we shift from just being a blog into doing this. I moved to Nashville, I guess, for about 10 years ago now. And
Where were you from?
I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hockey fans out there, it took us 50 years, but we finally got one. So anyway, but yeah, St. Louis originally. I was up in Ohio, bounced all around Ohio. Columbus at the time, I think, is where I was, and then I moved from Columbus to Nashville. Went back to school for film, just for a year, just to kind of get, because back then too, it was still kind of expensive to like get the software and all that.
Totally.
1080 was just happening too.
Yeah.
And so I moved down here, and on Twitter we had, because of the blog, we had like pretty sizable following at the time, like 30 or 40,000 people on Twitter or something, because that was even a thing,
Right.
bigger then. So just put a tweet out because I didn't know anyone, and then I met one of the first guys, Alan, down here, and he just like randomly on Twitter, and he was a photographer, so we just kind of started trying to figure things out. And I was learning how to use the software, and he had experience as a photographer with the lenses and all that stuff, and so we just started doing that. And we used to go into the school and like have all the, like we'd have three different songs, but then we'd have three different angles, and then we'd have to like compress all the footage. It was just, Anyway, but we started. It was just like we would literally have like a bag or a sandwich at one table, trying to like be like, oh yeah, you'll be right back, because it would take so long just to confront in the lab at the
Yeah.
school just to kind of get it going. But anyway, I'm kind of getting into the weeds. But so we started when I moved down here. We kind of did that I kind of started getting it going that way, and then we ended up pitching the whole company to like a startup accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big thing too. Probably that have been, I don't know, they've probably been around like over 20 years now, but it was really cool because eventually, they're really cool resources if anyone's ever out there looking too. But a traditional venture capital company will just give money to one company like Facebook and be like, hey, go buy computers. Here's here's $1 million. But these programs split it out of over like 10 teams and then put you through like a boot camp.
Yep.
You come out and pitch, all that stuff. So what I pitched was I was finding all these people online making these sessions, and my presentation, like what I tried to present was, I wanted to build sort of the Netflix, so to speak, or the Pandora hype machine that aggregated all the content into one place. And so that was initially what got us into that first program and got us going. And that was so cool is, I learned a little about film. We had a little bit of a blog, but then we started learning all about licensing. We had no idea the world that how complicated that stuff was. And so got a little bit of funding to get going, and then did that. And then they kind of condensed it all. We kept going. But yeah, I guess I don't know how far want me to keep going into that. But
so I guess what I want to know is, so obviously, you loved being behind the camera, right? Like that was kind of like your kind of artistic, thing that drove you. But like, then how did you get into, finding these artists and finding the locations to film and forming these relationships and the trust to get as many great artists on your channel as you have?
I honestly almost would say it was almost somewhat flipped. I was so obsessed with music, like always. Like I was just trying to figure out how do I stay in this, how do I stay in this world, and being like from the Midwest too. Like, I don't know. I just kind of played around in that world. And I also have to give credit to like Tom and like the other people that were doing some of the content production with us. Like I still, don't get me wrong, I definitely learned it, but I started filming more and felt more and more in love with the filming process. But
yeah,
I guess I really started out early on, just genuinely just trying to find new artists and new music always. It was just always, I guess, a passion that was always there. And then that could be a fun thing to talk about is when I moved to Nashville, how much I learned or how much we learned. I brought like Jordan came down. He was one of the guys I convinced Jordan to come down, and he really set the tone for the audio level. We started doing multi-track recordings and mixing and mastering, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then Jordan got kind of busy, so we have Dylan now that's been doing so much of the stuff in that world, and they've really elevated all the quality on the audio side. But I've always been super into the video. But you meet other people, right? That even inspire you more, just like those other filmmakers originally. That's kind of how it all started, where we pulled everything together. And then through that process, though, we learned a whole lot, and what it's become now is kind of shifted a little bit. We still have roughly the same vision, I'd say, where we're trying to aim at being more of the HBO or the MTV of music, so to speak, if you will. And we wanted to get into doing documentary films, narrative stuff, and rolling that all out. There's none of that really now that exists. It's you can find sessions and things like that, but it's kind of hard to find that. All that stuff really inspired me. Like The Last Waltz growing up was a big inspiration. We used to watch that all the time.
Absolutely.
Or one of my buddies and I
Stop Making Sense and all those.
Exactly. Stop Making Sense. My Uncle Dave was a huge Tucking Feds, my dad too. And all that stuff. It's like, I wish that all came back. I wish we could see that to really connect with the music and artists more. And it's just, I've learned so much about all the licensing side of things and how I've understood a lot more than I did when we started this thing. But
I'll tell you what. Yeah. So what I like to do on these interviews here is, again, split it up with some tracks that some people that you'd like to showcase. So what I want to do is let's pause there, and then let's play your first pick here, and you can tell us why and maybe how you came across these people, and why you guys synced and why you chose to work together, and then we'll dive into a little bit of why the artists do, like, maybe from their perspective, why do they come on your channel, and what is in it for them and what's in it for you, and how it all works.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So the first pick you gave me is, let me pull it up here. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're just tuning in here, this is Mike from our Vinyl. And if you don't know the Our Vinyl YouTube channel, there are so many great bands and so many great artists and songwriters that I personally have found through them. And man, I don't even know how many of your videos I've done, but I feel like it's probably like 10 or something. Like
Well,
it's a lot.
thank you.
And it wasn't it and honestly, I think the main reason is that like you guys really seem to capture the essence of the artist in that room. You really do a good job. So again, if anybody out here is watching is unfamiliar, the link is in the description. Please, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, give it a sub. And if you have something you think maybe Mike doesn't know and maybe he should feature on the channel, that's what it's all about. He wants to find new music as much as we do, and that's why we do it. So this first one, Mike, that you gave me is Greyhounds. What's on your mind? So tell me about the Greyhounds and what this is all about, why you picked this, how you got hooked up with them.
Oh man, I'm slacking one of the guys here that helped make this happen. Michael Moen is one of the guys that helps lead the charge in helping talk to the musicians and help not also curate and find and all that and follow the music, but I'm trying to slack him really quick because I really want to get him get his opinion on it too. Because
you know what?
Yeah.
If you want to just catch him totally off guard, just shoot him a link to the stream and force him in here to talk.
Ooh, okay, yeah. 1 second. Let me. How do I? Yeah, can I do that?
Oh hell yeah, we can have as many as 10 people. Just literally copy the link in the browser and throw him on Slack and say, dude, I need you right now.
Yeah, he just goes no. So I don't know what's going. Oh man, but like yeah.
We want to meet the team. I want to know how the
that'd be
sausage
awesome.
is made, man.
Yeah. I guess I didn't give him much of a heads up, but if we ever want to do this again, I can definitely bring them in. But let me see. I'm trying to convince him right now. Because the Greyhound. I mean, there's the level of like why I'm a sucker for like the blues and soul stuff. You know.
Right.
Wait. He said. Okay. Let me send him the link then. For it really quick.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right.
Richard F., thank you so much. He digs it. I just saw a bunch of people say they just subbed to you, so that's cool.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. It all helps so much.
Yeah.
Just keep the dream, keep going.
Matt Ryan wants to hear the Gregory Alan Isaacoff on one of your sessions.
We haven't featured him. We've talked to him for a long time. He's a fantastic musician. He's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Was he saying he'd love to see us feature?
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Yeah. That's a great suggestion. We'd have to circle back. It's been a minute.
See, check this out. I can bring the comments up on the screen like this.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm going in to get Mo in here. I sent you another one the
Awesome.
second one.
Well, I'll tell you what. So do you want to play this one or do you want to wait? You want to wait for him to talk about this band?
What do you think's best? I'm sending him the link right now.
Send him the link and we'll see. Okay. We'll see how quick he can mobilize.
Okay.
Anyway, everybody, again, happy Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. We're kind of running and gunning on the fly here. We got Mike from Our Vinyl. He just sent his partner the link to join us. How many people are a part of your team?
Oh, well, there's probably we got like 8 of us that are I'd say pretty much full time. But there's so many other people just right there with us that help make it all happen. You know.
Yeah.
And so the more. But we're really, so there's probably about 8 of us, I'd say. And so Moen, who if he jumps on here, he's kind of the, Moen said, go for it, play the song. I'm asking him, are you going to join now?
Okay. Well, here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll play the song, and then if he comes on, then he can tell us what the hell about this band. But you like this.
No, I mean, I could tell you a little bit too. I just was trying to give him credit too, because he got, basically was able to reach out and help get it all going. But anyway, I first heard them. And from what I understand, they helped. Yeah, they were one of the backing bands of JJ Grey, who was the one on the channel a while back. And JJ Grey, another phenomenal blues and soul artist. I grew up. I played a harmonica too, and played some bands and stuff. So harmonica kind of got a soft spot for it too. And he played that. One of the songs that JJ Grey did was Junior got his head cut off or hit in or something like that. Big, which is another big, harmonica song, and it was just it was great. But then so we just, I just found the band, fell in love with them, and then when they all saw to see the level of musicianship, it's kind of funny the reaction of the band when the guys were all filming. The keyboardist is literally playing this bass line and he's playing keys and then also singing. And there's a lot of people on other musicians. I mean, just to understand how to separate, it's kind of like absolutely mind blowing that someone can. Like, how is he even pulling this off? And I think one of the first cameras when the video went up was, is anyone else seeing what this guy's doing right now? He's playing like a bass line over here. He's playing the keys. He's singing vocal, and they just were such the level of musicianship was just absolutely. I mean, like that's like it was just out of this world good. Not to say everyone else isn't. It's just like that was just one that came to mind that love to share.
All right, well let's hit the button. Yeah. So this is. Oh shoot! What did I just do? Okay, sorry guys. All right, this is Greyhounds. What's on your mind? Our vinyl sessions. Here we go. Great bass sound.
I try as hard as I can, but I can't seem to understand. Even though you know what you want, baby, you can't tell me right up front. I gotta search for the answer hidden in your secret code. Why do you always say this when you really mean no? Come on, baby, say that. What's on your mind? Say that. What's on your mind? Can you find the words to express? Or do you wanna make me guess? I looked into your inspected eyes.
Yeah, Richard.
And I wonder what I did this time. And every day is like a test. Baby, I'm trying to do my best. Why do
you little PV Bandit.
Say no when you really mean it? Come on, baby, say that. What's on your mind? Baby, what's on your mind? I really wanna know.
Yes, it is little Chris Isaac.
Don't you believe me when I say I care? 'Cause everywhere you wanna go, anywhere you wanna go, I wanna take you there. 'Cause I'm a strong.
I love this drummer, man.
Totally. Everyone, yeah.
I need that guy in my life. All right, that's a little Greyhounds. What's on your mind? Again, happy Tuesday with Mike from OurVinyl. They filmed, they produced, they recorded that. As you can see, they do a tremendous job. And what a cool artist. I love that drummer. Love that drummer.
He's unbelievable, right? You can, yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So let's talk about how the whole thing works.
Yeah.
So I'm an aspiring artist, right? Or I'm a band, and typically, these bands have YouTube channels, they have social channels, whatever, and they have the songs, and they rent out a space, they hire a production crew to make a video. They spend all this time, money, energy, audio engineers, everything else to put out this content, right? Now you do it the other way around, right? So explain to me the dynamic between the artist and your channel and how it all works. So you go to them, you record everything. Do they pay you? Do you pay them? How does it all work?
Yeah, for sure. No, we so like to kind of back up a minute, how I was saying we were initially starting out, like we partnered with those other sites, and some of them are still out there, like Mahogany Sessions, and they're still at it. Like we partnered with those sites, and what ended up kind of happening, long story short, is we launched the platform.
By the way,
yeah,
he just jumped in here. How you doing?
there he is.
Hey guys.
Do we really have three mics on the line here?
Yes, we do.
Oh my God. All right.
Got
Well,
some better light. I wasn't prepared for this. I apologize.
you're good, man. You're good. Well, welcome. And I dig the kids' basketball net behind you.
Oh yes. Yeah, we were raging some hoops earlier. Just got the kiddos down.
Right on. Well, welcome. Thanks for jumping in. So Mike, please continue.
Yeah, I was telling him before I do you have anything you want to say about the Greyhounds? I was just kind of talking, you were kind of really instrumental in helping me get that over the finish line. I just didn't know if you wanted to say anything about it. But
yeah, that conversation actually started with Rick from 9 Mile. We reached out to them pre-pandemic, and so things got put on hold for about a year and a half. We tried to get that over the line and couldn't make it happen. And so finally, as venues started opening back up and touring was happening, they were making it through Nashville and scheduled time to be with us. And Rick is a great guy and fought through that year and a half of, email threads and thinking it could work and then canceling. And that's kind of how it came together. And we like to see bands perform before we do the session with them, just to get their vibe on stage and talk to them, and because we try to cater these sessions to what their music is, and we want this to be as much about them and what they're putting out as the quality that we can bring to them and kind of elevate them to the next level as much as we can. And so that takes a lot of planning.
Yeah, and I mentioned it before. It really comes through. Like the production consistently seems to match the vibe of what they're playing and singing in that room. And so I'd love to know. I love that you say that you go and you see them, or at least you try to, before you invite them to come to one of your sessions.
Yeah.
And then
that, yeah.
So walk me through it. So someone says, "Dude, you got to go check out blank blank blank," or it enters your universe, right? And then take it from there. Like maybe you start a conversation, you go out and see them, and then you approach them and say, "Hey, we'll do a session. You've seen our channel. We won't charge you, or we'll do whatever." And what's the relationship? How does it work?
There's so many different ways it kind of happens. Some of it, we have the team all has music. Everyone has different preferences, and so we've kind of, we're only able to really film right now. So many, if the channel grows, it really, like, how it's very much based on like how many people are following you, like how many streams things get. All that kind of adds up. All those little pennies kind of add up to where,
sure,
it allows us to do more. But they essentially how we find an artist. If that's kind of what you're asking, is how
Yeah,
I'm going about it. Yeah.
yeah. It's just it's fascinating to me. So like,
Hmm.
again, from an artist perspective, like most of us hire, film crews and studios and audio engineers and to make these products to put out on our own channel. And so basically you guys find ones you like, try to go see them, and then invite them on your channel, and you do it all for them.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's essentially, yeah. Yeah. So there's a ton of different, I mean, I can't really say there's one single way that we find it. A lot of it, some of the best is word of mouth, going to shows. Um, because that all Moen, I don't know if is Moen still with us right now. I see
Yeah,
him
he's
off the
here.
off.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
that's your
sessions,
lane. That's kind of
honestly,
your lane. Like,
we
yeah,
pick,
you kind of,
yeah. So every session, I'm usually on every session there, and what I found to be the most helpful is just talking to all the musicians, because they're in the scene, their ears to the ground, they're always looking for the next sound, and they turn me on to more bands.
Yeah.
I feel like, I listen to I don't know, countless radio stations and DJs and playlists and go down the line, but most of those artists have already been discovered.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is give a platform to the guys that deserve it, that aren't on a major label and don't have the big machine behind them.
Yeah.
And when they
yeah.
do possession, that kind of gives them leverage then to negotiate better deals. And that's kind of a big selling point for them, is no money out of their pocket up front, and the platform and the quality and the content that allows promoters to see them, and their managers to pitch that kind of content, and the exposure that they get through the fan base. It all is starting to work out, I feel like, for the benefit of the artist, and that's what the heart of it is.
No, man, I love that, and again, it really really shines through. So let me ask you this, and then we'll play the next track that you sent me. So you're based in Nashville. Do most of your or do most of the people that you film? I'm assuming the ones that are on tour. They have a stop in Nashville, and you plan it out in advance, and maybe you have a day, you have a half day. How do you go about, or what is the process like for finding all these different types of places that you shoot in? I mean, you're in like barns. I see you shooting stuff in tunnels. Like, you're in different studios. Like, all of your stuff looks great, and it's all so incredibly different. Like, how do you go about doing all that?
Yeah, like in terms of how we go, I just sent you. So you have one queued up. I actually sent you one of the. I don't know if I almost want to ask permission for this too, but we could share like maybe one of the treatments or something like that to kind of show how we think about it. But I guess how are we going about, like, how is everything all? I guess you were asking a minute ago about how does it work overall. Like, should I answer that question for the artist and how
Yeah.
we're all making it work?
Yeah,
or do you want me to go
yeah.
into that? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
because we didn't finish that.
Yeah. So like, what kind of? I'm trying to like bring it up. Like, so we're like basically all the filmmakers we partner with. A lot of them all went away because they just couldn't afford to keep things going. We had like a second round of funding that we ended up getting, and we automated a lot of the stuff that we were basically partnering with all those other sites, and then a lot of them stopped being able to do it. When I reached out, they were just like, dude, we're all filming for free. We don't want to make it work. And so what ended up happening probably like 5 or 6 years ago, I would say, was that people started asking. We used to post one video on our YouTube channel and then put the full performance on our website, and then pull people over so they could find other music. And it was amazing. I mean, people were spending like 6 hours, like on average, a month on the site, like just going through all the sessions. Not only ours,
That's a huge number.
Yeah, it was insane. Like, we were just letting people go, and it was like, this is awesome. We're all excited, but what ended up happening, a lot of them just couldn't sustain it, and then Michael, in the whole world of YouTube, like all that world kind of was started evolving. When we started the company, only 30% of the world was on the internet, I remember. And so like, I was like, this is going to kind of grow, and YouTube's going to grow, and streaming's going to, that was probably the worst time to start a music thing in hindsight. At the very, very time, it was kind of like at the bottom of it almost. But, it's all, I kind of saw it all kind of coming, and now I think we're up to almost 50 or 60% of the world is online. But either way, a lot of people started filming, and so what ended up happening was we kind of put the old site. We made it like kind of a private. We're thinking about like relaunching it, and then soon here to like bring it back. But but essentially, what ended up happening is when they stopped filming, where I was like, I had a little bit of funding from a second accelerator, and I was like, well, what the heck are we going to do now? You know, we were trying to figure out. At least we had a little bit of a runway to kind of think about what to do at that
Sure.
point. We went through Capital Innovators in St. Louis, which was like a follow-on funding group, which was great, really supportive and helpful. But we we ended up when people started, we put, like I said, put the one performance on our YouTube, push people to our website. When people started, when people started stopping filming, we ended up looking at our YouTube channel more in the comments, and people kept asking, how do they download the song? How do they pay
Yeah.
for the song on iTunes and Spotify? And so when that started happening, you know, that was still kind of hard to necessarily do like 6 years ago. So we kind of started looking into that. And then we started putting the content up, and I'll never forget, like we were in that capital like investment group thing, and and we were just like giving a little presentation like out of Silicon Valley or something like the TV show, and it was just like, you know, we made $8 last month, you know, like, and it was just kind of wild that like we had $8 in downloads, but it was just like, whoa, like that's kind of amazing that we made something, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then learning the whole YouTube game is that what was happening, a lot of us too, was that filmmakers, these other filmmakers would post stuff. We would all post stuff online, and then a major label would come in and sign them, and then like put like a copyright strike or something, and or tell us to take it down.
Yep.
And so like we're spending money for free and investing all this time and effort into making the content, but then it would end up being taken down. And so that's what we kind of say is like we have to own a license to the content we create. So we co-own it with the musicians and the artists, and we just own a license to those particular performances so that we can keep it up. So that way, like, it doesn't come down. Right. You know, we don't have labels. Like if a label wants to come and sign an artist afterward, that's great. If they want to do that, go for it. We're here to champion the artist and help move the needle forward. They should do what they want. But we want to make sure that the creative work that we're all investing so much time and energy in is able to stay up. And so what ended up happening is we did that when we learned how to, on YouTube, how to, you know, we went to the FCN game for a while when that was a thing, and you had to learn how to monetize your channel on YouTube. And everything's really matured over the last, you know, decade, I'd say, to a much better spot than it was when everyone started in this world.
Sure.
And so yeah, and like how it's better than it was, I guess. So now how it kind of works is like we essentially will approach artists that we love, and we we'll feature that. We'll tell them, hey, look, it's a partnership. We collaborate and work together. And we essentially what we do is we film the artist for free, and then we agree to put the songs on YouTube, on Spotify as well, and all this DSP service as well. And we're actually working to get our service. We're trying to kind of take that farther, and I can kind of go into that later if you guys want. We're still moving into. We want to go to other places just to, you know, expand past YouTube. But anyway, that's what we do. We split it with the artist 50-50 after we asked for like a percentage back of like what the total spend, but we don't ask for them to pay everything back. Like a major might say, here's a 100,000, you know, we just ask for like, I think about a quarter of what we spend. And then we just, after that, the artist, we just split it and then go from there. So, yeah.
Man, I love it. You know, the game has just changed so much. I mean, you used to have to get, you know, radio play, you know, or you used to have to get your stuff in a store, and you used to have to go through all these different channels, and it's just changing in real time. And I love that. I mean, you have so many artists on your channel and other channels, you know, that do, you know, something similar where, you know, if you're good, you know, and you put it out there, you know, you can go through these you know, different kinds of channels. It's like a completely new vehicle for you to kind of get your stuff out there as an artist. And I just love watching the internet, you know, birth new things and figure out and have watched people figure out new ways to work together to reach a common goal. It's just cool. I feel very similarly about what I try to do, and I got a lot of respect for you guys. You know,
well,
it's awesome.
I mean, thank you so much for all your support. I mean, we've just been kind of in the trenches trying to. We were doing a lot of paid work to kind of keep it going. You know, like we were getting hired by, you know, all the majors to do stuff, and you know, not every, you know, we've done some great work, you know, work that with all the other places, but then the people that we wanted to film, like, just couldn't afford like those rates, you know, and people just can't afford, like, a camera's not free. It doesn't, you know, you know, all that stuff costs money. And so, yeah, it's just like, so we were able to just do it for free. And we kind of had the mentality like, well, streaming should grow, the world, more people will come online. And if we just stick to our guns, you know, we went from the $8 a month to like, let's just pay rent, and then let's get it to like let's just keep growing, and then we'll be doing paid gigs back and forth, and then, we've been able to sustain it more as a group over the last, I'd say, last couple of years. We've been able to kind of turn the corner, to kind of keep things going. So
that's awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to hear about what your plans for the future are. But before we do that, let's jump into the next one you sent. Now, you sent Taylor McCall, "The Devil Wants to Dance Again." Yeah. So hit me with this. What's this all about?
Michael Moen on the call here. You asked me to play this one and thought it would be good, so I'm gonna let you take it.
I did, and I have spent a good bit of time with this artist, and went and saw him play and realized that this guy is like a Jimi Hendrix, where you never get the same take of a song twice. And so what we do is live one takes, and we usually ask for two so the artist can kind of feel out. A lot of these guys are just like, hey, one and done.
No, you get one.
Yeah, and
I love it.
Play another one, and give us a vibe of which one feels better. And
like,
every time Taylor would play a song, it would be totally different. And I was dumbfounded by the way he was able to do that and still keep the song together, and it flows like a different song. And I was like, man, you're going to be an incredible live performer and get some followers here that are just going to travel around and hear a different version of the song every time they play it. So I was like, and then I heard this guy originally on a podcast, and he was just strumming a little thing, and I fell in love with his voice and the way he was playing. Reached out, and his manager was thinking about reaching out to me at the same time. And so that was a serendipitous moment where we both emailed each other the same day. And he was like, man, I figured you listened to this podcast. And he just got
that
on
was
here.
Yeah. You went out after that, shortly after we filmed the session. They featured him on wasn't Taylor the one on the Meat Eater podcast?
Yes. I'm a big outdoorsman as well, so I listen to this Meat Eater podcast. If
nice.
With it. So
nice.
He was so geeked to go. You were so geeked to go out there. I'm so glad you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So every time I'm with this guy, man, he's just jamming new stuff, and I'm like, hey, I like that tone. Let me riff off of this. And I was playing like some Italian bluesy stuff, and he took me to Italy, and I just stopped playing my 3 chords that I knew or whatnot. And this guy, he's the real deal. And so that's where, like, if you ever get a chance to go see him live, it is well worth it.
He also started playing guitar just a few years ago, right? He just like kind of picked it up. Like,
he'd been picking around for a while, but then really went and focused on it when he was hitting college, and as we all do, and realized that there was a talent there, but he doesn't. I love it because he doesn't know the number system. He's just like, he's a producer's nightmare and dream at the same time, I feel like.
Yeah, raw. All right, well, let's take it in. Again, guys, this is Taylor McCall, "The Devil Wants to Dance Again," and we're joined by the guys from OurVinyl YouTube channel, or at least 2 of them. Here we go. See, these shots, man, I love these shots.
Tom was this one. Tom was the one that, like, we went behind the scenes and he filmed it totally.
Oh, that's sick.
And then you can see the camera ops and the kid in it.
Yeah. Okay. So where is this?
This is just in like the Devil's Lair, and like it's a secret deal we have with him. He lets us use this place every. I don't know. It looks like it's in like the bowels of like ML, but I don't know. Mo, where was this location at again? Like,
this is the first studio that when Taylor moved to Nashville, he started writing in, and so we work with the artists on. You were talking about the locations earlier and how we come up with them. During our pre-production phase, we get creative mood boards and talk to the artist and the team there and say, what are these songs? What's the vibe of the songs? What's the mood of the songs? What do they mean to you? Where did you write them? And
yeah.
We get all these feelings from him, and he said, man, I wrote all these songs in this studio, and it would mean a lot to me. And I feel like, and so we went and scouted it with him and realized, like, let's make this, because it's going to be a better performance if the artist is into, you know, the vibe and the mood and the creative part of the session.
I dig that so much. The intent really shines through in all your stuff. I love that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's hit the button.
Miss me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
The bottom of my Mason jar, it comes from Mississippi, but I'll never be free. Now hold me tight, 'cause I don't want your loving. You can't keep your door locked from your favorite sin. I always come and knock it, wondering where you've been. There is stands in the doorway with a tall glass of gin. Oh, I'm not mistaken, no. The devil wants to dance, girl. Oh, I'm not mistaken, no. The devil wants to dance, girl. My old guitar ain't she pretty when she howls at the sky. The voices in my head are so loud, they keep me up at night. Well, I'll catch up soon. Maybe death is just a sign you're satisfied. You can't keep your door locked from your favorite sin. You always come and knock it, wondering where you've been. There is stands in the doorway with a tall glass of gin. Oh, I'm not mistaken, no. The devil wants to dance, girl. Oh, I'm not mistaken, no. The devil wants to dance, girl.
That sounds so awesome.
Yeah, the dog. Yeah. I gotta give some credit to Tom though too on this one, because what you asked about the process and how we, how we go through some of this, but we're very intentional about, like, you asked about the environment, like how it feels a certain way. And so
Yeah.
Tom led, I'm pretty sure Tom directed this one. And so when he did it, like, he was very intentional about the camera movement. Like, that's a rock band. So we listened to the music, we knew about the music. And then so he chose to hold that camera so he could kind of like add the shake. Whereas if that was on a slide or a dolly,
Yeah.
that might be more of a move for like some of the prettier, like, just a different, it's just a different type of, it just adds a different level of energy, and then even in the post-production process, we'll add like, everything's live, but like, it's kind of fun to kind of play around. So in the
Sure.
post-production process too, we might add a little shake in a moment or two, but at the end of it, we're not really messing with the performance. It's just like, having a little bit of fun, and the color grading is all Tom. Like that is just like everything's filmed raw and just like brought to a whole other level, because everything's shot at like such a, essentially, if you look at the footage after the camera, it's kind of crazy. It looks black and white. It almost literally has like no color. Tom took it to a level that, like I said, I started it, I love it, and I love filming and everything, and I still love directing and everything like that. But Tom has absolutely elevated the color, like the color.
Dude, no, it's
insane.
It's spectacular. It really is. I obviously, spend all day in front of cameras and computers and stuff, but I don't know how to, make things look like that. And it's just like, it's so, just the intent is there, man. It looks great.
Some of the comments on here, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't tell you. It's just so cool to see some of the everyone commenting on here just about like the artistry. It's like we've just put so much into it for so long. Like I said, even sometimes we're like, does anyone even?
Yes, we appreciate it, man.
It's just like so. It's just so we're just so appreciative of the kind comments that some of your people are saying on here. It's such it just means the world that people.
That's why I wanted to have you on here, because I knew that the communities would be in sync, and like the same things for the similar reasons. Let's talk about the audio. So Garrett M., if you see the question on the screen, says the mix is great, and it really is. So do you have in-house audio engineers, or audio engineer, and can you talk about that at all? About how you go? I mean, you bring in like. Do you know much about the rig they bring in? Is it different every place? Like what,
Oh yeah, that's a really good question. I can definitely speak to that. I don't want to forget to mention this though. You asked me a question about how we film it. And so I sent you actually a treatment, which I don't know if anyone's ever seen them before, but we actually develop treatments. So when we go into these, like we'll develop, like Tom had a mood board he created for last session. And then we had a mood board. And when Tom was doing location scouting, he noticed the artist was like, it's going to be quieter music. And he was like, there's a road behind this building. I don't know if this is a good idea to do an acoustic session at this location. And then Tom and Amber will go scout places to make sure things look right. But then because he was doing that, he noticed there was an issue. And so this one was a really pretty intentional treatment that one of the other directors submitted and we used. And Alan kind of led the charge on this one. But it's just kind of, I thought I would mention that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the audio, and then we'll jump into that. And I'll put up on screen the things that you sent me, and you can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We so everything's multi-track, mixed, mastered. Everything's recorded live, like we said, directly. We use some of the microphones that we've been over time. A lot of it's kind of a budget sort of thing at the very beginning, so you might kind of hear that everything's sort of evolved over time. But Dylan's mixing essentially. I would say most of the recordings. We have Kevin that's also doing the mastering, but Kevin, I think actually they do their own projects as well. Yeah. But then we have we've all worked together for a long time. But Dylan was nominated for a Grammy I think a year ago, and Kevin won a Grammy with Bella Fleck. So we're very fortunate to have those guys working with us on the mixing, and they they take it to a whole other level as well. And it's kind of fun, because it's a recording in one way, but it's like they just the little how they just kind of color it and clean it up, kind of it's a whole art in itself,
Absolutely.
So hard to even begin to, and then the tracking, like to mention too, is like you can't really do much there in paint in any way if the tracking's not done correctly. And so we have a great team like Cade and Nick and Wyman and so many people and Wolf that all like pull the content in. And so you asked about like how we do that. We've been using, it'd be great. Obviously, it'd be great to do all analog, but we're very mobile. And so that kind of happened very much out of a necessity. When we first started, we couldn't really afford a studio. So we just sometimes would film. We didn't know that was against the rules. We just show up and film like on locations. And then sometimes we get kicked out. And then we learned over time, okay, there's a process here. And so, but there was just like, we were just trying to find places to film and try to just create stuff. And so,
Yeah.
and so then it kind of happened that way. And then we liked the challenge of, over time, we're like, we had to always be changing. And like, how do we, okay, we're outside today. How are we going to adjust for what the light's going to be like? Or,
Yeah.
you just learn all that stuff. And I think that's helped all of us learn so much from like the audio. How do you track the recording? Sometimes the audio engineer's like, dude, today I'm in a concrete bunker. Like, what the heck, man? Like, but that's gotten better. Like, we're very much more intentional about like, we'll do a clap test when we get there. And then I think you asked about the equipment, everything.
Yeah.
We actually have a big production trailer now that everything's actually, we have a way that everything's just pulled right to that production trailer. And then it allows us essentially to have essentially like a mobile recording studio. That didn't start that way for sure. We had to carry all the equipment and pack multiple car rides of bringing gear back and forth. And then we finally got a trailer, and now we use that, and then it's got everything in it, So yeah, and so the tracking is so important. We've learned so much about the microphones as well, like the Neumann's. I think it's the KMS 10. They help so much with the isolating of the vocals and things like that. So we've just learned so much about it. And also when we're filming, to be very intentional about the placement. Like that's also like you'll cut to that in a minute, but like the treatments, you'll think about like, how are we going to place the musicians in a room? This is a live recording. I think that's something that's kind of missed in society. Like, how it works now is like you put the drums down in a lot of places. You got to only put the drums down, then you got to add the bass. And then so it's like you kind of lose the soul in a way. And sometimes it's hard to do that. Some people can do it very well and it works, but it's just it's hard. So we've been trying to let the artist play and it, can kind of, it just can create its own, have a like a life of its own. And so, but we being intentional about like, okay, we're going to have the drummer here. So let's have the vocalist, let's do them in a circle today and have the vocalist face the drummer so we can isolate that vocal more. So then, and then after just doing it for so long, I'll know, like I know when I'm going to direct, like I'm going to think about that stuff and we can be intentional going into it about all that. But I think it'd be cool to show the treatment to show you kind of like,
well, let's jump.
Also, real quick off that audio
Go
thing,
for it.
Mike. So in the pre-production, we also talk to the artist and figure out what the genre they're in and what their voice sounds like. And then like all director session and like Nick's shoulders, you'll see some 1950s mics on there. And so I'll talk to the audio engineer and say, look, I don't think these Neumanns are going to be, they're not going to fit the vision. I'm a video guy first and audio guy. I'm learning it from our audio engineers after putting them in concrete bunkers and then saying, this doesn't work, Moen, look what I got to do.
Yeah, they've really saved our
acoustically treated rooms. So I always go for the mic and talk to the audio engineers about what's going to work best. And so we show up with a array of microphones and do a few tests on that. And then I'm visual, so I'm like, man, that looks good, and it fits this 19, yodeling vibe that Nick Shoulders has going on. So if there's any way we can do it, and
Garrett, that's a cool.
We got 20-mile-per-hour winds, and the ribbon doesn't like it. So
the ribbon.
We can fix it in post.
No, you can't buff everything out for sure. Like,
no, I mean, like, so like you can see what I put Garrett's comment on the screen. It's it's a musician, mixer, videographer, audiophile playground. It's such a holistic approach to the whole thing, but yet it seems to be anchored in one, doing it live, and two, purposefully trying to showcase artists that you think more people should know about that maybe they don't. I get it, and I love that you're doing it the way that you're doing it, and I think everybody that's in the comments and that has watched these videos feels the same way. There's killer.
Thank you so much. And there's one thing too is like the audio engineers. There's a shoot that we did about. Tom helped co-direct it kind of, but we're trying to bring in other directors. Remember all those filmmakers I mentioned that we partnered with? There's like 30 of them. A lot of them went away, and it's so sad to me because they were so much better than anything that I could come up with. So it's like I'm trying to go back to some of those filmmakers and try to say, hey, like we figured out the way to do this now. We'd love to work with you if you want to still film. And so we and there's there's other people that are doing this. And so there's another director we brought in named Anthony that has his own channel and kind of does something similar, but he didn't want to show the microphones. And so we were kind of like, ooh, Ooh, like that's gonna be tough. So we actually worked with the audio engineers and like everyone to kind of figure out, which you can respect in a way. He wanted to kind of hide it and try that. So I think it's gonna be over time as we move forward. We're gonna try to bring in other directors. So if there's any filmmakers on here that would love to reach out, we're always looking for new people, and we're actually trying to set up a team out in Boulder to kind of film other artists on the West Coast, so that we're in Nashville. We love Nashville, but we'd love to go to be able to film other artists in different cities. So that's
Love it.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So
Well, you guys heard it. If anybody out there is interested, how do they contact you?
you just go to the submission form, right, Mo? And it probably
Yep,
there.
you could either go to the ourvinyl.tv website and hit up the contact form there, or submissions at ourvinyl.com.
There you go.
And we love listening to music, so send it.
Yeah, love it.
Yes, please do.
And again, Mike, like I mentioned to you before off camera, if you ever come through Baltimore, or if you're looking for any artists or people up here, you're more than welcome to always shoot. I'm gonna have a barn. We got tons of talent up here. I'd love to show you guys.
We're gonna have to just make that happen eventually. I think that would be so great.
Dude, it would be
Now the world's opening up. It's like we're just ready to get back out.
hell
in
yeah.
the world.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt Ryan, thank you for becoming a new member. I really appreciate that. All right. Yeah, I'm sure there's tons of great artists everywhere. I think we all know, Nashville's stocked, but like every town, has those people that were like, man, this person really has paid their dues and they're great, and they just don't get the recognition, that they deserve. Like, and there's just so many examples of that. And it'd be great to go and really scout that out in different towns, know.
It was. That's kind
and
of
have
what we're
some
trying,
local guides that are like, yeah, I got you,
And totally, absolutely, that's exactly what we're trying to do next. Like the filmmaker in Boulder sent us a bunch of songs, and we just were kind of figuring it out, and we're gonna go up there, so it'll be great. It's gonna
Awesome.
be fun.
All right, so let's jump into, what did you call this?
The one I said over is you asked like kind of how we film it, and we kind of like there's a big process that happens, and each filmmaker kind of has a little bit their own little way of doing it. So this is
did you call this a mood board?
Well, so it's kind of like you could say the first half of it might be a treatment or a mood board, depending.
Treatment.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
like more of it maybe a treatment, we'll say. And so what we'll do is sometimes we'll come up with a concept, deliver that to the musician, and show them a little bit about, hey, here's what we're thinking. We love the music. Here's we have a director that would like to work on it. Here's what we're thinking for location. Sometimes it can be just a location, be simple. Sometimes we're trying to, we have a studio space now. So we're trying to get into kind of set design and playing around in that world just for fun. And so this right here, you can see like this was delivered to the artist. We kind of had this sort of Ed Sullivan show sort of idea. We asked the artist to set up, dress up in the suits, and Alan like led the charge on it. And the whole team rallied behind Alan, and we kind of helped realize the vision. And you can see that below, he's actually being very intentional, just like Tom was on the other shoot with shoulder rigs. He's actually got a big jib on a dolly track that he's moving back and forth, kind of like he was trying to make it look like an old late night show. And so to see the before and after, it's kind of fun to see like how we put all that effort in. And we, Alan built, you can actually see on the stages too, he did this little design on the stages, and Alan like really took this one to the next level and had the whole curtain, and Alan, we were all, it was like Alan was even like, I think, steaming the curtains on the day of the shoot, like directing, but also we're all very much, doing everything we can to make it all come together. And so, just see like how this was presented to the artist, and then see how it came together after. Like he's even thinking about the focal lengths, the lenses, like all that stuff,
It's like I keep saying, just the intent for the purity of the artistry just shines through in each little piece. This is so fascinating to me.
Thank you.
Now look at this. So with this band, you have a rehearsal, and then you have play to a click ? That.
Well, sometimes they'll have like that play to a click. I don't remember if they even used a click or not, but sometimes drummers actually will sometimes do that stuff to like keep things on set. So
I get you.
Yeah, maybe the drummer was playing to a click, and then what could be helpful sometimes is like if you're planning a move, like if we're thinking in our heads like, okay, if I'm going to start here, got to be here at this time. So I don't know if Alan was thinking about that or if that's where it kind of came from. But yeah.
That was going into the in-ears. So we're catching these musicians on tour, and so we ask what kind of gear they're traveling with. They send over a tech writer, and we go through it and figure out the room and what's going to work best. If wedges on the floor, how much bleed is going to be in if it's a rock band, and so then that's what the question was, like, should we use their in-ear system? Is this going to be a better outcome?
That makes sense. They would probably use it, because if they use the in-ears, then it
can run
doesn't get as much vocal bleed. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want them to be comfortable with whatever they're used to doing. All right, so you got that. So let's pull this up now and see what the
end result is. Like the performer, the lead vocalist, his performance, it's like he just, there's people that are just unbelievable at how they perform. They pull you into it, and he's definitely one of them.
Love it. Well, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Criticals Treat You Better. Again, this is Our Vinyl Sessions. Cheers. What happened? Ugh, it's the damn internet again. See, I'm on fiber plugged into the Ethernet. This should not happen.
I don't know.
All right.
I'll take the blame. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, this is just how it goes. We all know it. Okay. Let's find this again here. Come on. Everybody's going to see this giant email chain we have here. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. All right, let's try it again.
Here we go.
Oh my God. It's like the same. All right. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. Just give me a second here. Stop screen. Here we go.
If I close Windows, that doesn't help?
No,
would it? Yeah.
No, it's just being stupid. So, I guess it's something on my end. Hang tight. See, look, we're doing it live. That's just how it goes. Okay. Share screen. Come on with it. Treat you better. Bam. Full screen. Come on. Guys, I don't know what the hell is going on, man. This is crazy. Look, check this out. We'll do a speed test. We'll do it live, so you can see. Look at that. I'm screaming. Screaming, dude.
Internet can't handle the criticals right now, I guess.
Dude, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
it would be fun for people to see how it looks. But
the internet is not the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. The criticals are just breaking my stream here. What if I jump forward? Let's see what happens. Okay. Well, this is really a bummer. All right. Let's just pick something else and see if that plays. Okay. Stevie Ray Vaughan works. What's up with the criticals?
They can't handle them. I guess maybe that's.
Dude,
I can't even get past the first slide. Just so you see
it's always the same place. All right, let's try to pick another one of your videos. Maybe YouTube is upsetting your channel here. Look, Stephen Day seems to work.
I just sent you another one of his. Yeah, he's a recent one. I just sent you his other one. You could try that one.
All right, wait.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know what the hell is happening here. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
You could try a different video of them, I guess, see if the different criticals works. If you just type in the criticals,
Man,
wonder if.
I don't know. This stuff upsets me so much. It's so stupid. See. It's not always you. Sometimes it's something else. All right. Well, anyway, I'll see if I can get that working. We'll pick another one. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing it happen live. This is real.
Oh, I wonder if you downplay the quality just for the sake of, you can go to the streaming quality.
Dude, it's on 480.
What? Makes no sense.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just ran a speed test. I mean, I have an ocean of internet. You know,
That
It's
ocean
like-
of internet. Yeah.
dude, it's 850. Over 900 or something. It's crazy. It's and I'm plugged in via the cable. Who knows? Dude, nothing's working. All right. Stand by. Let me just close my browser. Are you guys still there?
I'm here still.
Yeah, Mr. Tonic's on it. Restart Chrome. All right. Guys, hang tight 1 second. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. This has been an evening of tech issues, man. All right, here we go. The criticals treat you better. Yeah, it's got that look.
But at least you can see like the intentionality of the
Yeah.
He hasn't been home. I wrote him in a letter.
I dig it.
Haven't called and left at the tone. He's got to treat you better. I heard my baby saying, oh.
Yeah, the mix is great, man.
He's got to treat you better.
That's a fun mic too. We've been trying to get some of those.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Let me tell you, where did our love go?
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Tonic. That's right.
Ah.
She don't wanna know. Smoking cigarettes all the time. At least they're still together.
The bass sounds so good, man.
It's
Yeah.
another bottle of wine, and then she spilled it on her sweater. He says she opens up when she's drunk, and I ain't talking feelings. Call me everything but a punk. She said there's no more time for healing. Happy sorrows, new tomorrow, always uninvited. Happy sorrows never follows while we're subdivided. Let me tell you, where did our love go? She don't wanna know.
Yeah, dude, everything sounds great. Yeah. It's just so evident how purposeful everything is. It's not just the music, it's the look, it's the room, it's the staging, it's how the mics and how the cameras come in and out. You really just capture the vibe. You really just do, man. It's you got a great team. You guys are good.
Oh, the team is we couldn't do it without everyone. Yeah, it's unbelievable because it's like everyone has to be so on,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and everyone has to be so and like honestly, it's we're it's so fun, and it's like so important because it's like if we need to showcase the musicians and what they can do live, if they're it's why to us it's like very much a partnership and how we kind of come into this like we're coming in it from an artistic creative side, and if you don't, we just like we want to be recognized for what we're trying to do on the artistic side and what we're doing with the mixing, and so most people, artists, we just kind of like it's more of a collaboration, and we just kind of split what we do together, and hopefully we can help the artists, hope to move the needle for the musicians, and all kind of win in like a little partnership on 3 songs. So,
love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's take some questions, then maybe we'll do one more. I don't want to keep you guys forever. So Matt Story wants to talk about Alan Stone. What was that like?
Oh man, Moen was at that one too because he's been with me forever. That was actually back at Wakarusa in the early days of the channel when we were starting out. And so, Moen, you remember you had your old Chevy truck? Remember that, or that Chevy? Not that Subaru, or that Suburban?
Yeah, and an old
it's funny-
'96 Tahoe, and it was raining so much, so I got to shuttle Dispatch and Alan Stone to their venue because their golf carts couldn't make it to the stages.
I have a
That was
'96.
surreal.
I have a '96 Chevy Silverado, which I still drive almost every day.
Well, to answer that though,
with Flowmasters,
we fell in love with Alan Stone, and I thought he was. That was actually, it's quite frankly, it was quite a learning experience too to see some of these artists. Like one of the other artists we filmed early on was Ed Sheeran in Cincinnati, and that was like the dude walked in like trying to play a song at the same time as we're like, what the heck? This guy is just off the charts talented. Like some of these musicians, like Alan Stone would be a perfect example of that. Like he literally, like I think he was on tour for over 6 months nonstop back then. And so we loved him, featured him, and we actually were in Wakarusa. It was a music festival. So we were like, this would be fun. We'll film a bunch of artists. But then we're like, then you got all the bleed from the station.
Sure.
So we actually drove up the mountain, like basically up this mountain, and had to like put, Alan got in the car. We drove up to this huge like hill to find some isolation. That's why we filmed him in like the woods in this like random corner. And then what was so crazy is that like with being with him, it's just like, it was kind of a good lesson for me early on, and also early on starting the channel was like, Alan Stone was someone that just like really, you couldn't help but just say like this artist just loves what he does. Because after that session, he went and played his own set, and then he played with Revolution, and he played in like 4 other artists' shows. And it's like the artist was just at some point it's like almost forcing you to have to like pay attention to the guy's level of talent. And so we've been fortunate to work with him a little bit after that on some like for hire type stuff, and just he's been unbelievable. Obviously everyone knows, he's unbelievable gem. So we'd love to feature him again. We have an artist, Stephen Day, that he did a collaboration on with, and I think I sent that one over to you. It's an artist that Alan Stone collabed with that artist, and he just was an artist that just kind of absolutely musician. Like it's hard enough to make a recording, but then when he actually played live, it was like this was, it just took it to another level. And so, but I don't know if that helps answer with Alan Stone. Alan Stone, man, just was such a great personality, and also just again like a lesson in like he just worked so hard at what he did to perfect his craft, and then played and toured and recorded and due to it. He's been in the game for a very long time, and it's unbelievable and deserves all the success. Yeah.
So on that note, Matt Ryan's got a good question. He said, was there a certain moment or performance that really stood out where it's just like, holy shit, like this person exploded that you didn't see coming, or maybe a precipitous moment in the channel or an artist that really took you to a different level? Like obviously, I found you through the Tyler Childers recording, sessions, and are those your biggest ones still to date? The biggest videos?
I think Tyler is leading the pack by far, and it's funny because that was one too. Like I remember seeing him live again. We went to a show and he was playing at this place. Like that was one that we found too through like we were on a paid gig, and engineer Justin recommended Tyler because he was working on. Tyler was recording some stuff with him, and we were just like thinking, we were just talking about stuff and shooting, hanging out while we were in between a session we were filming or something, or some at some studio, and then and then you hear all the time like, oh, he's the other artists have buzz. We've done. It doesn't really matter. It's like a perfect storm has to kind of come together. It's like he's tied to so and so, and he's tied to so and so. So I went and saw him live, and we were at what's the name of that place in the Gulch, Moen, that dive bar, the Bluegrass. No, it's a gulch. Anyway, it's like a really small dive bar. It's escaping me. Small room. We're talking like less than maybe 100 people or whatever. I mean, it's a really small room. And he played. I'll never forget. He played like "Follow Me to Virgie." He played. Then he played like "Nose to the Grindstone" and other stuff. And it's like I just remember being like, man. At one point, it seems like the room's going to get in a fist fight, and the other half of the time, you have other women crying, and I'm like pulling at people's like heartstrings here. And I just thought he was unbelievable. And but like we think about that with everyone, we think about that with like most artists that we go after and go with, and then we featured Tyler. And that one still haunts me because I feel like the color grade could have been better, and I didn't know it was ever gonna do like. I should have gone to sleep and then posted it, but then it like.
Dude, no, those videos are tremendous. I know I'm not looking with the same eyes as you are, but like the black and white, I mean, they're incredible.
Yeah, I just, but then it's like it's all about the music anyway, and we were learning and growing and trying to get better. But he was one that really lifted us. St. Paul and the Broken Bones were another one. You'd think that like someone like Ed Sheeran would have taken off, but I think that we caught him like right when he was blowing up so much that he just kind of died. It didn't really do anything. And then,
isn't that wild how that happens?
Yeah, and so it's just like a perfect storm of how it all came together. But Tyler, for sure, the Dead South has been really doing well. Julian Baker was one that honestly I would have to say that kind of kept me in the game. There's a period of time where, like I was mentioning it before, it's like we've been doing this forever, and it's like, is anyone even out there? Like people were checking it out, but we filmed this young girl named Julian Baker, and she showed up and performed, and I mean, she like tears up at the end of the song, and it was like it's kind of one of those things where it's like we just have to keep doing this. I don't know what else to do. I don't care. We're just gonna have to keep going, and we'll figure it out.
I don't know who that is or what performance you're talking about, but I might have to go and do that.
Yeah, check that one out. And she also was funny because we were on location, and this is in the early days, so we used these power distribution things, these like portable battery packs. So we recorded that live, and there was like a slight hum in the recording. So when she's actually playing, she's like tearing up and just to go to the point of like how good of a performer she was. And she was so sweet too. She was like, "You guys film like real artists," and like now she's like on tour with Phoebe Bridgers and all these big artists. But like she was so sweet. We just thought she was great. The only thing I saw her was playing in like I saw a video of her playing in like a garage or something, a parking garage, and I was like, we didn't have a chance to see her, but we just thought she was before, and we filmed her. But basically, all I was gonna say is like there was this low frequency, like actually it was pretty obnoxious, like hum, like just going obnoxious, and it was because of the battery wasn't grounded. And so it'd be fun to show like the before and after, but Dylan was able to go in and take that frequency and isolate it and pull it out. So she did the recordings too, acoustic, but he pulled it out and no one would even know the difference. And it sounds unbelievable. And he really, that's an example of how they saved our butts. And to Tom's credit, on that shoot, we had like 5 cameras. It's just me, Tom, and Dylan, just 3 of us at the time on that shoot. And then Tom and I were doing, Tom edited that one, and Tom looked at me and we were doing the edit, and he was like, "I don't think I can cut to this many cameras, man. We're getting in the way of the song. We're getting in the way of the song. We just need to stay in these 2."
There you go.
And he stayed wide. We just established the setting, and he just stayed between those 2. And I remember being like, "You're right, Tom. This is great. Now you should just edit everything from now on." Anyway, but like, yeah, that was such a cool. That was a cool moment. I don't know how I randomly went on to that, but like, there's so many little stories like that with the art. The Tyler too. Like, there's a cool story too. Like being like so authentic. He showed up to film that session with us. We were filming like 8 artists for a paid thing we were doing with like YouTube Music at the time, and he came in and we filmed at like 8 in the morning, and I don't know if I like the story. We'd like that, he came in like super early basically, and it was probably like I don't know what day of the week it was, but anyway, he comes in early and he just plays the songs one take, goes and listens to the recordings, was like, all right. But the thing that was really cool is he came back because he left, like, I think it was a squirrel pellet. You remember, Bowen? I think it was like his brother.
Yeah, his brother made
a squirrel pellet or something.
No, it was a coyote skin shawl that he had left in the control room in Ocean Way there. And
but I just remember feeling like
hours later.
Yeah, I just remember being like, he's so authentic, and I wish him the best. And like, obviously, it went fantastic and well, and
like Evan Bartles, we knew, like when you're filming these things, I get goosebumps.
That one gave me goosebumps for sure, man.
Like your breakdown of Shotgun was spot on with Evan Bartles, and that was a session we walked away from where you don't say much and you just know, like that
But
was
then
it.
again, no, but that probably
Morgan
wouldn't have
Wade.
but if Michael wouldn't have said something about it, that was just slowly like Tyler took probably 4 or 5 years for like the world to kind of like find him. And
Yeah.
then but like when you put that out, then people started to recognize Evan. But that could, without you mentioning that, like I don't know that people would have found it. Like we're all sitting there like goosebumps, like what is the world seeing? What we're like, we're trying
Yeah.
everything to let you see what we feel and why you should check this guy out. And that was why it was so impactful to us when we came across that. When he posted it, we were just like so appreciative because it just felt like you genuinely appreciated like all the what we were trying to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's kind of what I was saying or alluding to before with how much I love this whole process of how the internet is kind of changing the game. So it's like you're finding these artists, and you're doing all the production and putting so much intent into it, and then you put it out there, and then if the wind doesn't blow the right way or whatever, I mean, people don't know about it. But then you have channels like mine which go and scour the internet, and people in the community that find these gems and bring them, and so then we can showcase them, and then we form relationships with people like you and the artists. It's just this wild little ecosystem that's happening.
I know.
And I'm grateful to be a part of it as well, like in my own little way,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and add something from an educational standpoint whenever I can. I mean, it's just cool, and it feels like we're doing something that should be done, but but we also kind of like haven't really totally figured out yet, but like we're kind of doing it at the same time. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
you
that
ever-
whole thing.
Yeah, I got to ask you a question. So, like, when you started this thing out too, like, we all like got into this. Like, a lot of people that got into, like, I guess you'd say just YouTube and all this whole ecosystem and everything that's happened. And you've been doing this for a long time too. But I feel like there's a point where I don't know if it was like a tipping point where you're like, I don't really care anymore. I'm all in. I'm going in. And like, I don't care what anyone else says. I just love this, and I'm just gonna like commit. And I feel like artists have to do that. It's almost part of the process. And I feel like we kind of had to lean in, and we're like, you know what? Hopefully the world finds it, but we're gonna go for it. And then we're so lucky to meet you and to have your shine a light on us all. And I just thank you so much for it. And I just wonder, I was wondering like if there was a moment like that for you where you're like, I don't know, man, I found it. This is what I feel like I wanted to. I feel like I'm helping and adding value, and I want to do this. And it's not even about money or any of that. It's just like I just want to. So
this is all a natural extension of who I am and my personality in general. So I had the opposite of success on YouTube for the first 6 or so years I was on YouTube, and I didn't do these types of videos at all. I was an educator, loved education, and I've always taken a great pride and joy in seeing others succeed with my own little help, in my own little way. Whether it's kids learning a specific song, or fostering artists, or when I used to coach rock bands and stuff like that, like getting bands to work together and all that. Like I love seeing other people succeed and helping them in that way, and encouraging people to believe in themselves, and I've always been that type of person. So, when I did YouTube videos for the first 6 years or so, like they were all just how to learn this song, it wasn't like what I was doing now, and this whole React series totally came about from me being burnt out on YouTube and having not having what I was doing work, and it wasn't working because I was trying to do what other people did instead of just doing what I always did, and then magic happened, and I started listening to it started with the Grateful Dead and Dead and Company and that whole jam band kind of scene, and then it kind of snowballed. But basically I started just taking requests and just showing people how, if you were to come into my room as a teacher, what 30 minutes would be like if you brought a song. I'd listen to it. I'd get basic things, talk about what to pay attention to, what to work on, and send you on your way. Well, of course, during that process, and having that whole React thing, and that whole, non-edited thing that you see me do take off on YouTube, I started to share things about me, personal stories, what songs meant to me, started getting into the lyrics and songwriting, etc. And not just the guitar stuff, artistry in general. And so, of course, that made people start sending me smaller artists that were telling a story, their story, something that they thought that I should hear. And so I would hear these things. Evan Bartles is a perfect example. Tyler Childers. I found out about Tyler because of this ecosystem, if you will. People saying, "Oh, if you like this, you'll like that," right? And the first time I ever heard his voice was on your video that you did. And I think that so that became a kind of a pillar of mine in this community, like in this YouTube world, where I was like, yeah, like I love teaching. That's how I make a living. That's the backbone of all of this. But so many people that are learning are also trying to create and encouraging people to write their own songs, share stuff, and share other artists that inspire and motivate them that are lesser known, is kind of all part of that thing. And so now, like I, almost to my detriment, YouTube algorithm be damned, like I don't have any problem at all, like having a video that had 100,000 views 2 days before with, someone's big name and a title in it, and completely squashing all the juice and putting something out that I know is going to get 10,000 views, because someone sent me something and I was like, this voice needs to be heard,
Mm-hmm.
And so now I look at it as a piece of that, you know what I mean? And so as a true pillar of how I view my role in all of this. And so, yeah, I've been fully committed to the internet since 2013. It's evolved a lot. Education is still my backbone. That's what I spend 90% of my day focusing on, is my students and all that. But showcasing other artists, encouraging students or anybody to dig deep and believe in themselves and be an artist and share the things they're creating is deeply important to me. It really, really is. And so I run the channel that way.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. And obviously the whole community that you have here is all, I mean, just because you're so genuine, it's so obvious that it's just like, it's all for,
Yes.
It's amazing to,
yeah. And the community, I mean, you know how it is, like, good people know good people. People that listen to good music know more good music. I mean, it's just kind of like, it just kind of works itself out. We have virtually zero negativity here in any of the comments on any video, like, ever. And the moderators do an incredible job, but frankly, I don't think they have to boot many people. It's just kind of become this kind of safe place where, I can share things. I can share, we can, like, Evan Bartles is a great example. I mean, I don't know how many other channels out there will play a song like that and not just talk about the music. A lot of them don't anyway, but sit there and spend 15 minutes talking about suicide, and imagining what it might be like to be in that person and what those lyrics, and analyzing, pieces of those lyrics, like that one part from Thoreau and all that. That is just something that you have to cultivate a safe place to feel comfortable doing that. And I feel like every day I feel more grateful and more empowered to talk about those things. And I found that, like, Evan and I, talked a little bit, that the artists appreciate that, like the same way that you guys work so hard to capture what it's like being in that, with the room and the sound and the lighting and how it looks. You know, I feel like it's so important to try to put yourself in those shoes, to try to, talk about the song. The song is king, and what it must be like to write a song like that, Um, it's just the other side of it, and I'm privileged that I get to do this for a living, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, well, quite frankly, like it's been like the same for us. It's like the thing that I think that motivated us so much too is like by doing all those paid jobs. Like I'm not trying to. Everyone kind of knows about labels and the challenges with some of the things that the top majors have done. There's plenty of great. I'm sure there's plenty of great labels out there. But when I first came to Nashville, I started learning more about like the whole Nashville. Like there's a whole sort of machine. There really is.
Yes.
Like you got to have the chorus in the first 30 seconds, and after that chorus, you might have a bridge. You do a key
Shit,
change.
start with the chorus.
Yeah, and it's like and I'm like and then I start learning. I'm doing these like paid things for like EPK videos and stuff, and I'll never forget being in the studio one time and I saw this young woman like playing at a bar, like I said, well, not a bar, I think it was like the Basement or some dive venue, and I was just fell in love and I wanted to feature her, and then she asked me to do like an EPK, but she was got signed by a label, and then she brought in all these studio musicians. There's nothing wrong with that, but then she also like she at least was writing the songs. But then to learn that like she brought in other people, but she was from her perspective, which I've learned a lot since then, and I think there's a balance by all means. I think there's a balance there for sure. Like who am I to say that Adele can't go sing and do, like the world has she's kind of got a gift that she can give the world. But at the same time, that's kind of what really drove a lot of motivation early on, was that I'd see like people buy a song and then like hire musicians, and then like I was like, where's the music, and then that just got so frustrating. So like just like I don't care, we're just gonna all over here, we're just gonna keep pushing this stuff out and hope to God that people see what we see in the world. And I think that's what really that just like I think that was just like we literally just kind of kept at it, because it felt like like you talked about Shotgun and Evan. It's like that feels like an important thing for people to understand, and same with Julian Baker. Please check her out too. It's just
send me that one video where she's crying at the end that I should see. Send that to me.
Yeah, I will. Want me to right now or just later?
No, later.
Yeah, I will. And I can see if I can get Dylan to dig up the audio too. It'd be cool to show like what it sounded like before, and then what he did to like isolate that frequency and then make it so we could salvage it. Like that was a perfect example of them saving our butts, So, but yeah, like it's just, I just think that what happens to society then if more and more artists are able to like say what they think, I just think it's frustrating. It's hard enough to write a good song. Like I don't know that Nirvana would be TikToking right now. It's like that just doesn't seem like
hard to say.
I don't know. Like I just don't know. It's like, so what we're trying to do is like it's hard enough to just get the videos filmed. Yeah. And so we're kind of working towards like, okay, now we film the videos. Now we're looking at how do we distribute the content better so that we can offer opportunities for playlisting, and then how do we then take that farther and start to begin marketing. But before we could even be doing any of that, it's like we have to be able to make sure we could sustain just creating the content in the first place. And so we're trying to now lean into that more to help lift up the music that we featured so far. So yeah.
I get it and I love it. So I'll tell you what. On that note, let's play one more, and then we'll sign off, and you could tell us kind of what's in the future and what to keep an eye out for with OurVinyl. So the last two you sent me here, you got Pony Bradshaw and Stephen Day. Which one do you want to do and why?
So there's those two, but I think I also wanted to make sure I sent Jake Wesley. I feel like no one's finding him. I don't understand why, But
you tell me. You got one more pick. You can we'll play whichever one you want.
What do you think, Moen?
It's up to you. I feel like if you want, I don't know. They're all different musicians.
They're all totally different types of music. I meant to send.
I mean, you can send me some ones, for me to review, not live on this stream, but as far as one more to play out before we start to wind it down here, whatever you want, man.
Can you
Let's
see?
do
I can't
Alan
see.
Stone's favorite Stephen Day song.
Do you see? Yes. Did you talk about Alan Stone? You should do Stephen Day. And Standing Was Flying. What do you think? That one? Is that the one with the solo he plays?
Yeah,
that is what you sent me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's the one he plays the solo. I think that's the solo. But yeah, there's no one seeing that. Seems like that's not getting any love, and we don't understand because again, he's like kind of very similar. Someone commented about Alan Stone, so that might be because he collaborated with him. So,
let's pull this up here. If Standing Was Flying, this is Stephen Day. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is OurVinyl Sessions. Here we go. That snare. Yes.
The snare. I love how you appreciate the snare. Wyman would love that you appreciate the snare immediately. Like one of our engineers. Yeah.
Hold on. Why is it? You know, YouTube just this pisses me off so much. Like, does this happen to you where it all of a sudden switches your accounts just constantly, and you have to always sign back in?
No.
I don't know.
Yes, it does.
I don't know. Yeah, no. Tell him that snare's fire.
Yeah. Watch the bass player on this though too. He kind of gets into it, like you mentioned a minute ago. It's funny.
Sometimes I feel out of place. Sometimes I need your embrace. Get me through the day, and it feels like water on my skin. It feels like being born again. It feels like learning how to stand and watch.
Yeah.
Someday I wanna throw it all away.
The bass player just loving it.
Dude, it's the best.
Yeah, it's the best. Just to see people love what they do, it's so I love it.
Absolutely.
Somehow you turn it all around, make it seem okay, and it feels like water on my skin. It feels like being born again. It feels like learning how to stand if standing was flying. If I never had it, how would I know? If I ever found it, oh Lord, there's no going backwards.
Yeah. Live.
When you give her your soul, and it feels like water.
I love it.
I mean, like his vocal is just like it's like you hear art.
Being born again, it feels like learning how to stand in walls. It feels like finally jumping in. It feels like running with the wind. It feels like learning how to stand in walls, flying.
Yeah.
It's like the tone, like all the little effects, like just the tasteful little, it's yeah, he's unbelievable. And it's funny because it's like off of what we are kind of saying about, it's like could all the top 40 today do this? It's like I wonder if they, not to say that all of them are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's tough, like to be authentic and real. And it's like you can fake so much nowadays,
Yeah.
that it's just fun to be able to highlight people that are doing it.
That's
You know?
awesome. Well, I love what you do. I know that everybody here in the comments loves what you guys do, and like I said, I've probably showcased like 10 of your videos because you capture the artist as well as the artist, portrays the song, or the character they're singing about, and you do tremendous work. So
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. I look forward to working together one day, man. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome. I would
Well,
love
yeah.
to.
Let's do it. We're big fans. I've been sucked into your channel ever since that. I didn't know about your channel until the Evan Bartles video, and I said, "That's why we do it." He just nailed it. That's
We
what
all-
Love
keeps
it,
us
man.
going.
No,
Love it.
we all pause in our meet. We have like just a team meeting. We all check in. Just like it meant the world because it's like you were about to. I don't know if like in that particular one, it seemed like maybe you were gonna do like a breakdown, but then you were just like, I just gotta stop. And then you like took it even farther, and that just for us just it was
That's
just
what
meant
we
the world.
want people to
of the
feel
world.
is the same feeling that you expressed in that video. And I was like, he put it to words what we are trying to like provide the artist and their fans.
Love it.
We're just-
Love it. I totally understand how you feel. Like, is anybody paying attention? Is anybody
Yeah.
out there? Is anybody and I wonder that. We all wonder that. But the answer is a resounding yes. And as time progresses, and we forge through this, thing together, it's going to get tighter and it's going to get clearer and it's going to make more of an impact. So we're always going to keep doing more of it. So on that note, I'm going to give you an opportunity. You mentioned it before. What's coming up next for our vinyl? And what should people what do you see on the horizon for you guys?
In terms of like where we're trying to aim at or where we're trying to go.
Exactly.
We're very much trying so the initial goal was to kind of be kind of like a Netflix meets Pandora or we said HBO of music in the near term, so to speak. So, it was just, like we said, there's no stop making sense. There's no last waltz really. Like where do we'd love for those to exist. And so we're really pushing to try to move the needle over to like the OTT space, and hopefully one day you'll see us on like quite frankly soon, maybe even on like your televisions on. We're talking to like some places now. Hopefully it all can come together, but all this content can go to places like your LG television or your Roku one.
Yeah, are you guys gonna do like a Vimeo OTT or like a Ustream thing?
Not necessarily that, like LG and Vizio, they have those are just examples. They have I forgot what they call it. It's like the fast. There's a whole world where like Vizio now, you turn your television on and there's Pluto TV. There's TV cable is basically built into your television because they just have ad-supported television.
Sure.
So we're trying to see if we can push the content there, so that way people could see it more and give the artist another another medium for people to be exposed.
Sure.
To the content, and then move into like the narrative stuff. So then we can get more into like talking more about the story, kind of like a little bit like what you kind of were able to do here, and we were able to talk about online. But being able to tell more of the narrative stuff, moving into producing a little bit more shows, and maybe we can bring other filmmakers in to like really create more of really bring back the ability to connect artists, and an audience to really be able to connect more about the music and know what everything's about. It's just it's hard enough to write a song, so hopefully we can just help film the music, but then bring it all the way to the point where you can find it not just on YouTube, but eventually on your Roku and things like that. And so that's what we've been trying to drive towards and are continuing to work for. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys don't go anywhere yet, but yeah, let's stay in touch. And again, next time I come down to Nashville, I'll give you guys a holler. And if you ever want to cruise up to the Mid-Atlantic, I'd be happy to show you some real talent up here.
Would love to. I just hit a button too. I had it on the private chat.
Yeah.
So I hit the button and I was like, oh man, like I didn't know what people were like. You posted comments. So I'm like, where is he seeing these comments?
No,
so now I felt bad that I wasn't even seeing what everyone was saying. Like,
look, people love it. Cool Sweat Joy. Thank you guys so much. Mr. Tonic, thanks for turning us on. I mean, they love the authenticity. Great evening. Plum, love what you do. Garrett, Colton, Cool Girl, Mix Hammers, US Elite Ski, David, thank you so much.
Dude, this is so cool.
Ben Limos, thank you. Mr. Tonic, you guys are such pros. Thanks for the mods. Absolutely, mods. You guys are the best in the game. Matt Ryan, you look like they love the 3 mics. I mean, look,
the 3 mics, the 5.
Yeah.
That was a pretty funny one.
Yes. Small
Yeah.
side note: Mike in college was in a band with 3 other mics.
Oh, no,
and they were
you can't
called
say
the
that.
3 Blind Mics.
MIC. Yeah, it was pretty
Oh
nice.
man,
It was fun. It was a good time. It was a
It
good
was a little
time.
trivia.
all right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your time with us this Tuesday evening. Check the link in the description. Mods have been dropping it in the chat. Please go give a sub over to OurVinyl. They just you've seen the quality of the videos and the audio, and what really shines through is that they really focus on showcasing the artist, who they are and what they have to say. So go give them a sub. I personally would appreciate it. I love you guys. Mods, thanks for all you do. Thanks for making this a safe place for us to be us and share what motivates and inspires us. And I will see you all real soon. You guys stay put. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thanks again. Cheers.
Thank you.